Muslims are not coming to England for our tea and scones. Now, the Quran mentions the disbelievers quite a lot. Over half of the Quran is actually addressing non-Muslims and how Muslims should treat non-Muslims. Now, it calls us the most vilest of animals. Quran 8:55. It states that Muslims shouldn't befriend us, which is Quran 3:118. Now, when I'm saying these verses, I'm saying one verse, but there are many, many references that state exactly the same thing throughout the Quran. Now, Quran 4:100 actually addresses Muslims travelling to non-Muslim countries, and it says that they may have to shorten their salat, their prayer, for fear that the disbelievers may attack you. It finishes that passage by saying that disbelievers are forever the enemy. So let's get this right. The Quran commands violence against the non-Muslim. The Quran forbids friendship with the non-Muslim. The Quran calls non-Muslims vile animals, the worst of all creatures. So what are they doing here? Well, Islam is about forcing people to become Muslim, which is a bit of an asinine thing to try to achieve if you're surrounded by other Muslims. So yes, they have come here to change our society. They've come here to bring their Sharia. They've come here to flood our country full of Muslims. And here's how they're going to do it. They're going to do it at the local election stage. They flood specific areas of the country so that they can then elect their own MPs into Parliament. And this is obvious. So Luton, Bradford, Peterborough, it's all full of Muslims. And what they're going to do is they're going to elect their own kind into our Parliament, thus changing our whole entire system. Now, I've already seen it. Lawyers are now drafting up Sharia compliant wills, which go against our Equality Act. It's not just the fact that we've got Sharia courts here. We've had Sharia courts here longer than I've been here. I was born in 85. We've had Sharia courts here since 1982. But they want to change our laws. They want to change our society. And they're pretty open about this. You ask a Muslim, do you want to live under Sharia? Do you want Sharia in the UK? They'll say, yes, of course we do. It's the law of their God. The Hud punishments, which is basically punishments that's set by Allah that can't be removed, like killing the apostate, Quran 4:89, kill them wherever you find them. The laws against marriage and stuff like that. You can have 4 wives. Polygamy is illegal in this country, but we allow it with Muslims. And the thing is, every Muslim is going to use the term Islamophobia. They're going to say you hate Muslims, you you this, you that, you other. That's what they're going to say, because they're trying to make you seem like the bad guy for not allowing your culture to get corrupted and to get overshadowed by such an evil culture. And Islam is evil. It is pure evil. And all these leftists that are on about slavery days and all this sort of stuff, and misogyny and gay pride month and all this sort of stuff, those morals and ethics do not fit with Islam whatsoever. Islam is misogynistic. Islam commands to kill homosexuals. And you may talk about, it's religious freedom. There is no religious freedom under Islam. Quran 8:39, fight the disbelievers until religion is only for Allah. So Muslims aren't here for a cup of tea and scones. They're not here to try to embrace our culture. They're not here to try to learn our culture. They're here to overtake. They're here to destroy. They're here to take over. And until we actually address this issue, before I'm dead, or before 2050 at least, we are going to become a Muslim state just by the Muslim population growth. Most of us would just settle down with one wife, have a couple of kids. Not a Muslim. A Muslim will settle down with 4 wives and have 4 kids with each. So without Muslims coming into this country on a daily basis on these boats, we're going to see Muslims grow within our country. So yeah, it is inevitable that we're going to become a Muslim country unless we do something about it. Now, Muslims tried this before. They took over Spain. They invaded most of Europe. And the thing that drove them back was Christianity. You've heard of the Crusades for Jerusalem. You've heard about the many other crusades where the Christians fought and pushed back the Muslims. The first crusade was called after Muslims had marched onto Rome itself. And we haven't got that anymore. We've got pictures of priests holding up signs saying, "We are all Muslim." They don't even know what Muslim means. Muslim means one who submits to Allah, one who submits to Allah's word, the Quran. So for a Christian priest to hold up a symbol saying "we are Muslim" is an insult, because Muslims don't believe that Jesus died on the cross. They believe that Allah switched Jesus at the very last fucking minute, and that's how it happened. In their opinion, they've got no salvation. They don't believe that Jesus died on the cross. Ask a Muslim one of Jesus' teachings. They ain't got a clue. Because all it says in the Quran is that Jesus said that he was just a prophet, just a normal man. He wasn't the Son of God. It was Jesus disclaiming everything that the New Testament said about him. So anyway, my rant's over. Muslims shouldn't be in the UK. And I don't think that disbelievers should be in Muslim countries. I think we should just let them get on with it. We call it coexistence. It's not coexistence. It's like the case against disarming people. The good guys are the ones that disarm, not the bad guys. So all you're going to get is the bad guys taking over the good guys. And that's exactly what's happening in this country. We're welcoming the enemy with open arms. And it's our children that are going to have to pick up the pieces, unfortunately. Thank you ever so much for listening. I'd like to hear your thoughts.